I appreciate the opportunity to be here today to introduce John Nalbandian of Union, Kentucky, the President's nominee to serve on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. A talented appellate lawyer, Mr. Nalbandian is another fine choice by President Trump to serve on our federal courts. I'm grateful for the President's leadership as we continue to ensure the judiciary fulfills its proper role in our constitutional system. After graduating in the top 10% of his class from the University of Virginia Law School, Mr. Nalbandian clerked for Judge Jerry Smith of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. After his clerkship, he worked at a prominent law firm in Washington before moving to Kentucky, where he's established himself as a leading appellate lawyer. His widely acknowledged skills and even temperament have led to Mr. Nalbandian's inclusion in the best lawyers in America every year since 2007, and I'm confident he will excel as a judge. Public service is nothing new for this nominee. In 2009, then President Obama nominated him to serve on the board of directors of the State Justice Institute, an organization which assists state courts in the improvement of the quality of justice. The Senate confirmed him on a voice vote. Some of Mr. Nalbandian's colleagues on the board have written to this committee supporting his nomination. Jonathan Lippman, the former chief judge of the state of New York, wrote, "John's temperament is unflappable and composed. He always conducts himself with dignity and respect for others." Lippman continued his letter, "I cannot think of a person more qualified to sit on the United States Circuit Court for the Sixth Circuit." The Chief Justice of Kentucky's Supreme Court wrote, "I can think of few lawyers who possess John's level of professionalism, intellect, integrity, and legal ability, and I'm confident he would make an excellent addition to the federal bench." The chorus of praise comes from across the political spectrum. While in Washington, Nalbandian worked alongside Thomas Goldstein, who would later serve as co-counsel to Vice President Al Gore in Bush versus Gore, and co-found the website SCOTUS blog. In a letter to this committee, Goldstein wrote, "Professionally, I never had the slightest sense that John was ideologically driven. He seemed entirely balanced, conscientious, and open to all viewpoints." A number of this nominee's other colleagues have also confirmed his dedication to fairness. For example, the former executive director of the local Democratic Party wrote that Mr. Nalbandian has the demeanor, intelligence, skills, compassion, and love for the law that our country has historically sought in its Article III judges. A bipartisan group of more than 50 Kentucky lawyers have written this committee in support of his nomination. Here's what they had to say. "John has the temperament that defines a capable jurist and the belief that one must set personal beliefs aside while interpreting the law as it is written. We have no doubt that if confirmed, he'll be an impartial arbiter of the law." Mr. Nalbandian has given back to his community. He served on the Northern Kentucky Tri-County Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors, and currently he serves on the board of the Greater Cincinnati Minority Council Program, helping to increase the presence of minority attorneys in the area. Mr. Nalbandian has also worked to better the legal profession. In addition to serving on the board of the State Justice Institute, the governor of Kentucky in 2007 appointed him as a special justice on the Kentucky Supreme Court. Later, he served on the magistrate judge merit selection panel for the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky, helping to select talented and impartial judges. Finally, the National Asian Pacific American Bar Association supports the Nalbandian nomination. It notes that if confirmed, he will be the second Asian Pacific American to sit on the Sixth Circuit and will be just the seventh active Asian American federal appellate judge in our entire country. I'm confident this committee will find Mr. Nalbandian to be an intelligent, even-tempered, and eminently qualified. I'm delighted to be joined by his family and friends, and I'd like to thank them for being here as well. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to be here to introduce this fine nominee.
Thank you, Senator McConnell. I know you have a busy day and appreciate you being here to do this. And